Hello Year 3, today in Maths we are going to be able to read and interpret information from a bar graph and also use and understand vocabulary related to bar graphs. Our first task says Ravi and Lulu asked the pupils in a class to name their favourite type of book. So you've got a tally chart here. It says this bar graph shows the same information, and then this bar graph here shows the same information as the tally chart. The question I would like you to answer is, what information does the bar chart tell you? So can you use the information from here to write some sentences about the information provided? Pause the video here so you can complete that first task. Okay, so let's have a look at some possible things that you have gathered from the bar graph. So looking at this bar graph, I can see that mystery is a very popular type of book and the most popular actually, because 12 children liked mystery books. So that was my first sentence. The bar graph tells us that mystery was the most popular type of book. And then with that question in mind, the least popular was fairy tales. That was my second sentence. The least popular type of book is fairy tales. And then I've just retrieved some information about science fiction, and I said that 4 children liked science fiction. Now, to help me answer these questions, I actually used my ruler to help me line up the bar with the numbers, so I got an accurate answer. So if I just show you, because it might come in handy when you do your independent practice. So let's go for the science fiction one. I meet the top of my ruler with the bar, and I can see it lines up nicely with the number 4. So I know that 4 children liked science fiction. So a ruler will come in very handy during this lesson. So we are going to look at the same graph to answer some questions, because you'll be doing something quite similar for your independent practice. So it's the same bar graph, and it says the bar graph shows the number of pupils in a class who like to read different types of books. Number 1, which type of book is the most popular? We already know it's mystery because it's our tallest bar, and we know that 12 children liked mystery books. Number 2, how many more pupils like to read comic books than science fiction books? So this question wants us to compare comic books and science fiction books. So to do that, I am going to line up my ruler with comic books. Ooh, there we go. So comic books, there were 10 children that liked comic books. So just down here, I'm going to write 10. And science fiction books, we know that there were 4 children who liked science fiction books. Now, to work out how many more preferred comic books, I need to take away 4. So 10, take away the 4 children that liked science fiction. Now we know our number bonds to 10, so we know 10 take away 4 is 6. So 6 more children preferred comic books to science fiction books. Okay, so you might have noticed that this bar graph looks a little bit different. You can see that the bars are presented horizontally rather than vertically. Our numbers are along the bottom and the school name is down the side. Can you have a discussion with someone at home as to why you think they've done this? Then can you use the bar graph to answer these questions here? So pause the video to give those questions a go, and then we'll come back and have a look at the answers. Okay, so hopefully you've had a go at completing those questions. Let's have a look at the answers. So number 1, or A, which school has the most paintings at the exhibition? So I'm going to use the bottom row to look at my numbers. And 16 is the maximum number of paintings, and I can see that lines up nicely if I get my ruler with Dandelion Primary School. So in here I would say that Dandelion Primary School had the most paintings at the exhibition. So that's the question 1 done. The next one says, how many paintings does Carrot Primary School have at the exhibition? Again, I'm going to use my ruler and line it up, and it meets nicely with 6. So how many paintings does Carrot Primary School have at the exhibition? They have 6. How many paintings does Grape Primary School have at the exhibition? So again, I'm going to use my ruler and line it up. There we go. So this time it hasn't fallen on a number, it's fallen in between 2 numbers. So we need to work out the scale of this graph. And I can see it goes up in 2s because we know our 2 times table. So it misses 1 each time. So I'm going to count them in between as well, just to double check. So you've got 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it falls in between 8 and 10. So there must be 9 paintings from Grape Primary School. And then the last question says, or statement says, Berry Primary School has blank more paintings than Apple Primary School has at the exhibition. So again, this is a comparing one, so I need to have a look at the information. So first of all, I'm going to find Berry Primary School, which is here. I'm going to line up my ruler. Again, that's fallen in between 10 and 12, so I know that they have 11. So I'm going to use my 10s and 1s column first. They have 11, and then Apple Primary School, just above it, I'm going to have to move my ruler all the way along. They have 6 paintings at the exhibition. So I'm going to write 6 in my 1s column, and I'm going to subtract 6 from 11. So I can't do 1 take away 6, I'm going to have to exchange 1. So I've got 11 take away 6, that is 5. Now I could use my 10s and 1s column, or I could use a number line to count on to 11. And for this, I'm going to use my number bond. So 6 adds 4 would take us to 10. And then add 1 more. 4 add 1 is 5. So Berry Primary School has 5 more paintings than Apple Primary School at the exhibition. Well done if you got those questions right. Okay, so now you've had a practice at reading some bar graphs, you are going to have a go at doing this independently to answer the questions. Your independent practice activities look a bit like this. Once you have completed these, you can then move on to today's challenge. Today's challenge is this bar graph here, and your job is to write some questions about this bar graph, and hopefully someone at home can answer them using the bar graph to help them. Think about how you can challenge them. I hope you enjoyed today's maths lesson, and don't forget to send any of your learning into the Year 3 email.